I hope you all enjoyed the Gemini Cup because now we're moving into the second Cancer Cup. And I'll be real with you, pretty much the CM Games meta is pretty stale at this point. It's just Christmas Ogre Slop, frontrunners just being frontrunners, and some late surger or end closers just trying to survive the meta. Let's talk more about it. The second Cancer Cup will be held on the Hanshin 2,200-meter turf with the condition of right-handed, summer, cloudy, and good. If you have played the first Leo Cup, it is the same exact race course by the way, the Takarazuka Kinen. The hidden stat bonus for this CM is speed, which you will max out regardless, so you'll be fine in that department. So one thing that makes this race course different from your typical medium distance CM is the downhill sections. This course has notable downhills at the start and right at the beginning of the final spurt into the middle of the last straight. Due to the existence of downhill mechanic that increase your speed and reduce stamina consumption, you would want this in your favor. So you want to get as high width as possible to consistently get the most out of it. The downhill section also makes the race more RNG because you can simply lose due to the luck factor of who activates and lasts longer on the downhill section. So width stats is more important than ever on this CM. Now, for the Excel skills. Since this course enters the final spurt on a corner, you know it that the corner acceleration skills are once again your best friends. For front runners, that means angling and skimming is non-negotiable as always. For late surger and end closer, moving past and beyond and let's bomb some iron are your go-to inherits. No stopping me also works well here as usual if you can get it from the Yukinobijin card. One thing to note is that because the final spurt corner happens before the Umas can spread out wide, no stopping me activates in a really good spot here. It's worth running if you have access to it. And the usual gambling excels like head on your left on the brink are also usable as supplementary options. Redshift is skippable on this one. Shooting for victory is also a hard skip. Nishino Flower Unique also doesn't give value, so skip these three acceleration skill. I've not really discussed speed inherits in my previous guides, but I think it's pretty good to add it into this section as well. If you happen to have spare skill points and these inherits are in your skill pool, you can grab them. Namely, Triumphant Pulse, Shadow Break, and Symboli Rudolph's Unique are very good late race speed skill that you can grab. Stats requirements for speed 1200 is the target as always, pretty much a staple at this point. The hidden speed bonus makes this even more important to hit. For stamina, since this race course is on the shorter side with only 2,200 meters, the stamina requirement is not that harsh. You can be fine with only 850 stamina. Mind you, if you have a very high width, due to the downhill mechanics, it can even be lower. You can also always fit in gold recovery skill or white recovery skill to supplement the stamina requirements. In general, gold recovery is roughly 200 stamina and white is 60 stamina. So, for an example, if you're running Christmas Ogre, you can be fine with like 650 stamina and 3 white recovery. For width specifically, this is a bit different from most CM. You actually want to push your width as high as you can on this course because of the downhill mechanic. I will recommend trying to get it over 900 at least. Of course, the higher the better. Power and guts is to be sacrificed to meet the other stats, so get it as high as you can as well. As for the decks, there is two formats as always. Some people love guts maxing and some people love width maxing. Personally, I find guts maxing makes it a bit more harder to hit the stat cap and give less good gold skills in general. I find width maxing a bit less tedious to get the result done. It also provides you with more access to the gold skills. But at the end of the day, it is up to your preference. Guts maxing is the usual 1 speed, 3 guts, 2 width cards. The deck builds can change depending on your card's availability, but the speed card can either be Kitasan Black, Fuku, or Narita Top Road. Guts are the usual suspect of Admire Vega, Haru Urara, Yukino Bijin, or other maxed out Guts card that you can borrow like Ikunodictus for its 15% race bonus. Wit cards will just consist of your best wit cards for the gold skills, like Fine Motion for Speed Star, Yukino Bijin for No Stopping Me, Mr. CB for And Closer Daring Strike, etc. Or you can also fill in Agnes Tachyon and Marvelous Sunday for the SR cards. The other route, which is the with maxing route, is the usual 2-speed, 1 power, 3 with cards. This is probably the slightly better option for this CM, specifically given how important wit is for the downhill procs. Speed cards stays the same as from the option in Guts Maxing deck. The power card can be a 15% race bonus card like Sunday, Nishino Flower or El Condor Pasa for its Killer Tune Gold skill. The wit card also doesn't really differ for Guts Maxing build and wit maxing build. Just fit in the best cards that you have for the style that you are running. Alright, let's talk about meta. I'm convinced that if you have played the past few CMs, especially Taurus Cup, you know exactly what is going on. The Christmas Ogre slop is always there. You literally just pick 3 recovery skill and make one of them as triple sevens and make her an insta 30% win rate bot. On this course, triple sevens activates roughly 40 meters before the final spurt, so if you hit this G-Grads, you have a high chance of winning. There's genuinely not many changes that has been implemented, so it's pretty much similar in meta. Frontrunners are still pretty dominant as ever if you are tryharding and you want to win as much as possible. The usual strong frontrunners like Valentine Bourbon and Summer Maruzensky is always at the top as of this patch. You just grab angling and scheming and build the best stat line and gold middle leg skills for your frontrunners and you can simply win. Obviously, this is a medium CM, so Dominator debuffer is always there. You can run double Dominator with your Oshi if you want to make her win as much as possible. Despite the frontrunners and Christmas Ogre running wild, the other styles like Late Surger and End Closer actually still stand a chance. It's not one side dominated CM like Aries Cup, where everything is actually Christmas Ogre slop. The reason being is that the backliners have access to moving past and beyond and no stopping me. So if they activate this both at a good timing, you can still catch up to the fronts. The good old gold chip is always there as your free to play backliner option. It's either that or backliners like Tamamo Cross or the newly released Inari 1. However, you can also just simply run Tamamo Cross as late surger if you prefer it that way. There is also an option to just run good Umas like Agnes Digital or even the acceleration parents themselves like Mejuro Dober and Mejuro Ryan. As for the recommended UMAs for each style, I'll just present to you the dominant result from the JP server and their tier list at the time. For frontrunners, the picks was Summer Maru, Valentine Bourbon, Kita-san Black, Seiyun Sky, and Daiwa Scarlet. Surprisingly, Kita-san Black was rated that high. Personally, I think this tier list rated it a bit too high. Her unique doesn't give her the acceleration as in the long race tracks, and it's only speed, so she should be one tier below. There is only one pace chaser that was picked throughout DCM, and that is Christmas Ogre. There's really no reason why to not pick her if you want to win. And also the reason there's no pace chaser besides her is simply because pace doesn't have acceleration for this track. You would have thought that Nishino Flower is there, but it doesn't work. Late and end closers are just a mix of the same Umas, the usual suspect like Gold Ship, Agnes Digital, and Tamamo Cross. Lastly, it's not complete without the team compositions. The most stable setup is 2 frontrunners plus Christmas Ogre. 2 fronts to control the pace, Ogre to pop off when your front fails. Valentine Bourbon and Summer Maruzensky alongside Ogre is probably your cleanest version of this. If you hate running Christmas Ogre, you can also switch her for Dominator Debuffer for better chance of your fronts winning. The second setup is Solo Oshi Gaming, as per usual your strongest ace with 2 Dominator debuffers giving you the best chance for your Oshi to win. There is always a sweet aftertaste of letting your favorite Uma win. So this is highly recommended if you want to enjoy the game that way. And then there's the classic 3A setup or literally just reusing your previous CM's Uma if you're burned out by the meta at this point. This setup is the easiest although it doesn't always give you the best result. Overall, this CM meta haven't really changed and will be really similar for medium racetracks until they announce further more horses that will change the gameplay. As always, thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one.